Roxanne Dafamapo, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, and Inosa Fuseni. And Ansanya Boa sends this message. He says, I don't think the intention of selling state lands to anyone, especially politicians, for personal use is morally right and must be stopped. The policy must be abolished. Abolish the policy for the public servants who also need these lands to areas to live in and to be closer to their workplaces, and some of them who cannot afford, you know, these properties in these areas. So maybe not. Thank you for your message. Okay, well, okay, Tanko Osman is talking about a different issue. Just sharing a couple of the messages you have sent in with you before we move on to President Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. You hear them shortly, teaching us about how to spot a 419 deal. Kofi Seidu says the NPP and the likes of Peter Amawu have no any moral right to talk about land grabbing. Their past record is so bad in that enterprise that they won't wish it revisited. Abdul Malik Mohammed says that Honorable Amewu is being too partisan. He's giving Opong Nkrumah a tough time to defend him. Julius Agahoha says that he says that John Mahama has demonstrated his reading ability as opposed to Dr. Bawumia, who runs and speaks with high pitch of arrogance. Okay, we'll get to that issue shortly. And then Musa Abator says that we are sick and tired of this rhetoric of illegal distribution of government lands. If government thinks something untoward has happened, the appropriate course for remedy is the courts of competent jurisdiction. Well, as we heard, some people have actually gone to court and they have won. If you give the land to them legally and you turn back to say on a moral issue you want to take it back, the court will endorse the legal position. They will not be interested in your morality. They don't determine issues of morality in the court. It's about the law. Now, sorry, there are a lot of your messages, but we have to cut it here, particularly so we can get to the bond issue. I don't want to skip the bond issue. It's a very important issue. Now, listen to President Mahama, what he had to say about the GPS.
I think that when a new government comes into power, you should give it a honeymoon so that it can settle in, you know. But unfortunately, it looks like MPP is whittling away its honeymoon period with the mistakes that it is doing. Otherwise, how can you launch a Google GPS system that is freely available on our mobile phones and say it's a national addressing system? You know, and it's such a pity. You know, why will you embarrass the president so much? You go and take a whole president and bring him to launch a system that is essentially 419. You know, and when you talk about accountability, this is where the president should show that he's serious about corruption. Somebody must account for 15 million Ghana cedis giving away free of charge. When I was in office, there was a bus branding incident, 3.6 million Ghana cedis. A minister of state resigned because of 3.6 million cedis. In power, when you come into office and you want to cover up, you can cover up. When things happen, you just refuse to investigate them. The toughness of the fight against corruption is that you're able to take action against your own people. And that is what we did when we were in office.
Right. Let's hear the reply that he got from Dr. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
When I read his reasoning for such a description, it became very evident to me that he has no clue about what he was talking about and was just engaged in parroting propaganda. I actually had a good laugh. I hope that in all humility, former President Mahama can now accept criticism from me, since by the grace of God I have now occupied the office of Vice President of the Republic.
We know a 419 scam when we see one, and that unfortunately was the hallmark of the administration of former President Mahama. Ghanaians will find out more soon, very soon, as people are held legally accountable for all these scams. With the record that the former president has in the area of governance, it is incredible that he would have the effrontery to talk about 419 scams. We have spent $2.3 million on the National Digital Property Addressing System, and I dare say it is money well spent for the benefit of all Ghanaians. It is not money finding itself into the pockets of a few cronies. We did not spend it on guinea fowls or bus branding or overpriced mansions and contracts or ghost roads. We have spent it on something productive. As a result, Ghana has an excellent digital addressing system. If the former President Mahama can take care and some time just to read and learn about it. I should note that propaganda did not help the former President Mahama when he was in government, and it is certainly not going to help him in opposition.
Well, that's a cut at a point, because there's a small bit where he also says that this is something he had to get out of his chest, because the president obviously had angered him so much. Now, obviously, and starting with you, Roxanne, obviously, you know, the former president appear.
Sure, start with Kojo.
Okay, you don't want to be start with you. Okay, I'll start with Kojo, but I have a point on which I needed to start with you or Inusa. But let me start with Kojo.
It's fair. You wanted to start with me.
Obviously, the former president had some of his facts so wrong about the GPS product, but Bawumia's reply is being also
described as a bit harsh.
Yes, not a bit harsh.
Very harsh.
Unpresidential.
No problem. Really? No problem. Don't worry about how that is described. Thompson, you're a lawyer, and you know that fraud is not a matter we play with. First of all, the former president accused the government and mentioned the sitting vice president by name and accused us of fraud. When you go to court, and even if you are a witness in the box, maybe I'll ask Roxanne to help me, and you are, being led in evidence, and you go in attack of the character of a subject you are leading evidence on, what is the rule?
You are treated as a hostile witness.
No.
That is when you are leading evidence in chief. Then you
No.
In a criminal matter, when you deal with the character of a party.
Attack of the character of the party. You open yourself up for your own character to be put on the table.
But you have to attack character in order to show credibility to us. Character attack is about credibility.
Okay, you allow him to speak.
You open up.
Yes. And for me, that's the principle I want to establish as we start. That's the legal principle. So you can choose to go on the substance of the matter. But if you choose to go with allegations of fraud and with character attacks, you will then open yourself up for introspection. And when he did that, it was no longer, easy just to overlook palpable evidence that, with great respect, it doesn't appear that the former president himself has probably even downloaded the GhanaPost part of it and tried to use it. If you listen to what he says, I am not sure, and I mean,
the man said
he's a man. Our phone. Don't worry, he's a man. No, he didn't say it is on our phone.
He said so.
No, I've transcribed his words.
He said so.
No, I've transcribed his words. He says that it is a Google GPS system that is freely available on mobile phones.
Yes. Right.
That is not true.
He has one.
No, it's not true.
Please, let's allow him.
It's not true.
Don't tackle him. Yeah.
This is a customized. First of all, the National Digital Property Address System has about 5 different parts and 2 front ends. And I'm sure that anybody who has paid attention to the documentation that has come with it and the communication that has come with it will not look at all of this data in the face and say that it is a Google GPS system that's freely available on our mobile phones. And that's, first of all, what the sitting vice president sought to explain. That it must be said, as hurtful as it sounds, and sometimes it sounds a bit disrespectful, but it's not. It's the truth. And if we get into some of the other matters, I'll point to specifics. First of all, the thing is not 15 million. It's not.
Yeah.
And when the former president gets on a platform to go on the record to make these comments, and he gets these things wrong, then he will be forced to question whether or not he has an understanding or he has a fact. I suspect that somebody briefed him and misbriefed him. And that's why he went on the platform and made those comments. Because when you look at the specifics, it doesn't match up to what he's talking about. He talks about the fact that...
How much is it?
Okay, I'll give you the breakdown shortly. He talks about the fact that it's an app. It's not an app. It's a whole database which has survey development data. It has an API component. It has mapping tools, and that's where in the beginning they decided to use Google Maps to support them at the back end. It has also got the latitude and longitude coordinates that come together with it. Then on the front end, you have an address registry and a digital address that you'll be given. There's a window for APIs to be built in, and that's how come GhanaPost has built an app interface on it. Anybody who wants to go through the details can get it. So the sitting vice president now has to explain in details what these things are, because obviously the initial brief that the former president got was wrong. But for me, what is interesting is this. The former president, by his comments, and earlier I told you I would go into double standards, is beginning to reveal something. And I think those who are advising him that as he seeks to stage a comeback, he should go on the attack and make some of these comments, they will be misleading him. Because in the comments he has started making, and again, if you play the soundbite, he's beginning to expose a lot of things that will now come up for scrutiny. For example, when President Mahama was president, sitting president, he was one of the key persons who consistently spoke about cynicism and the fact that citizens must rally behind government action, not be... I printed one of his speeches. If I find it, I'll read you his words. Not be quick to tear down what government is doing and call it names. This was former President Mahama.
That doesn't mean that if he sees some wrong with something, he shouldn't say it.
So if he sees some wrong, he's got to go specific. He kept consistently complaining that, you know, people had the habit of just pouring water on anything he was trying to do. Yet, without any specifics, and even getting all the foundational issues wrong, he now goes into name-calling.
He said,
went further,
he said 15 million
which
Ghana
was wrong,
cedis, and it's
which was wrong.
It's $2.5 million.
No, 2.3.
2.3?
Yes.
Okay.
That is if you include the VAT.
All right.
Okay. Now, he goes further to say that this fraud that he's talking about, somebody must be held accountable. And that in his day, when something like that happened, a minister resigned. Go back and check in his day, when the bus branding matter came up, what was the defense government put up? I'm not sure till today on record, the NDC government at the time has admitted that that looked like fraud or anything of the kind.
But
Today,
he was speaking facts.
No.
Resigned.
Was that fraud?
Interesting. Now I get your drift.
Was that fraud? I'm saying that pay attention to the detail. I'll give you another one. He says that President Akufo-Addo is not able to take action on anything. This is a president who in 6-7 months has been delivering on major campaign promises, and now the question is about sustainability. No problem. He says he's not able to do anything. This comes from the former president, a man I respect very much, who consistently kept saying, I've instructed, and now the refrain was that if you're instructing and nobody is responding to instructions, then there's a problem. I'm telling you that if you begin to pay attention to a lot of the things that he's beginning to say, you find a lot of double standards between the things that he preached when he was president and the things that he's talking about today. And now if you go into the specific of this app that he sought to say was already available by Google Maps freely on our phones, which is factually inaccurate. And if you compare the arguments that he was briefed on, which he reiterated, with the facts as have been put out, you cannot say that the vice president's comments were harsh or unpresidential or were out of 10. When you go into that space, you get that kind of response. President Mahama, in my conclusion, I think desires to go on the attack in his bid to come back. But you see, when you are an outsider in politics, attacking and claiming you can do a better job may get you in. When you're a former president with a track record of over 20 years with your own infractions, some of which now we were forced to bring up, when you go on the attack, with the greatest of respect, I don't think it will be of help to your cause.
Okay. I come back to you. He points out clearly to the note on which former President Mahama begins. He says 15 million. It's actually 9.9 million, is it?
Yes.
In cedis. So, number one, clearly, he didn't have that fact right. Who was briefing him? And then he says there is a Google GPS
system that is freely available on mobile phones.
There may be a Google, you know...
There's a Google map.
Yeah, there may be a Google system that is, you know, that has semblance with this one. But it's not the same.
Sam, I disagree completely.
Oh,
now
you disagree that it is 15 instead of 9.9 million?
I disagree that it is not available or the system they have introduced is not akin to what Google has deployed.
Okay.
Now, as to the money, initially the information they put out was that it was 2.5 million Ghana cedis.
No, dollars.
No. The information I saw.
Where is it?
Why? When the news first broke, I saw Ghana cedis.
Cedis?
Yes.
No, 2.5 dollars.
Hold on.
Inclusive
then,
of VAT.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Then somebody asked further questions. That even 2.5, it was too much. Then the further information revealed that it was actually in dollars. So people began to do the computation. Now, if you even convert 2.5 million, what I've just done, it comes to 11.2 million Ghana cedis.
Which is still not 15.
Why?
Proceed.
Why? You can approximate anything in this region.
But the actual price, as we have seen in the document, in the contract document,
right now,
is not what the president
right now,
referred
it is
to.
about rate now. What is the official rate that they applied?
You use 4.4.
They haven't told us.
No. You use 4.4.
Hold on. They haven't told us. So the man can decide to say that you are using a rate of about $1 to 6 cedis.
Really?
Oh, why? In those transactions, it can be done. Go and check if you want to buy airline tickets. Go and check the rate they'll give you.
I'm saying that in the contract document.
Yes.
And so far, the information that we put out about the price,
document?
yes, we have.
You
and
have.
I'm telling
I
you,
haven't.
And I'm telling you that the price that the president quoted is wrong.
What was the CD equivalent in the contract document? They didn't state it. They only stated the figure in dollars.
9.9 million Ghana cedis.
Why? Is that in the contract?
The cost of the project as advertised was 9.9 million.
So as to the
it's
amount,
all in the document.
As to the amount, it is not in doubt. What is in doubt is that we have paid so much millions for a software that is already globally available.
But that's also not correct.
Why? That is correct. Look,
have you downloaded the GPS? You have.
I have.
You have downloaded the app.
Yes, it is on my laptop right now.
Okay.
And I'm saying
when you downloaded, it, you were able to tell where you were at your home, what your code is.
Yes. I have to come out of my room.
You can do that with Google Map. You can do that.
You can do that.
You can do that.
You can do that with Google Map. Google Map actually, look, I have a Google Map that tells me my village, my house in my village. It tells me exactly.
Please help me. No, hold it. Our viewers and our listeners, help me. What information does it give you?
It gives you, you have to indicate. First, you must know your map. You must know where your village, you know the coordinates.
When Google,
so the coordinates.
So you are talking about coordinates. When Google gives you the coordinates,
hold on.
The
coordinates, that's
GPS.
exactly my point. The coordinates you speak of is also available on Google Map. The longitudes and the latitudes.
What is available is the coordinates that Google will give you. Is that all?
So if you know the coordinates, you can locate your village.
You can locate time and understand the thing in its entirety.
I take offense when you say those things.
I'm sorry if you're offended.
Can we be fair to the facts? Can we be fair to the facts?
I am being fair to the facts.
You are forcing this on. That this is available. This system is available on Google.
Have you checked? Can you go on Google Map now? Do you know the location of your house in your village?
But this is exactly why you need, if I just may interrupt, this is why you need a digital property address system. First of all, the address system is not what you've downloaded on your phone.
I agree.
What you've downloaded on your phone or your laptop is the app, is the interface.
Good.
Secondly, the longitude and latitude data, is globally available.
Yes.
There's a mapping tool, and there are various mapping tools.
Yes.
Google Map has a mapping tool, which looks at the longitude and latitude, and then now gives you a pictorial representation.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes.
There's survey data from Ghana.
Yes.
where all roads and alleys have
Yes.
been mapped
Yes.
and named.
Yes.
That's also available.
Yes.
Now, what we have done is to build...
It's also available on Google.
Relax.
It's available on
Relax.
Google.
What we've done is to build a database.
But I am saying so that facility is also
integrates
available
all
on
of
Google.
these and gives you an interface
You
on
have
one
made
side,
your point.
gives you an
You have
address
made
and a
your point.
digital
I am
address as well.
indicating that
Right.
in Google you have that facility too. I have roads in my village that has been named. And indeed, in Google, you have to provide the name if you know the name of the road. And when you indicate it and they approve it, it becomes part of their database. So anytime that you go there, the name of the road will pop up.
And it has a digital address as well.
The digital address is where you hoodwink this facility, hoodwink the government to believing that they have done something original. This is where the criticism is. That you are simply using the digital address to superimpose it on a facility that already exists in cyberspace to collect money from the state. So the whole criticism about this product is that it didn't originate as a result of somebody's creation. You picked it from somewhere.
So you say Bawumia's reaction is, you agree that it's unfair?
No,
on the
you see,
president?
Bawumia, I understand. He's Bawumia. He can never be anything different, whether as a candidate or as a president. You know,
As a vice president.
Yeah, as a vice president, he likes to insult.
That's all.
Why?
That's all.
He says that Mahama doesn't understand.
But that's not an insult.
Why? It is an insult.
When
If
it's
you
an
don't-
insult.
no.
Again, when you
understand,
say he likes to insult,
yes,
it does suggest that is
that
a
is
conduct.
his style.
But
The
that's
conduct
his
is
style.
known
That
for.
is
That is his style. You
If he
see,
says that the
listen,
former president doesn't
the
understand.
former president has criticized you. Speak to the issue.
He has spoken to the issues.
Don't tell him that he doesn't
But the
understand
former
what he's
president started
criticizing
by
you
calling him
about.
somebody who has led a 419 enterprise.
No.
That's why I started
Yes,
by saying
it's
that
a criticism.
if you go by
So
attacking the
diffuse it.
character, you
Oh,
get it
but
in response.
let me
Okay,
do
Kojo,
this.
Kojo.
Take your
Okay,
time.
thank you.
Take your time.
So,
I am
Samson.
saying
Yes, and conclude.
that-
Yes, I'm coming to you.
I
I'm
am
coming to
saying
you,
that
Honorable.
When the man says this product is a 419, speak to the issue. Tell him that no, it's not a 419. This is no. You are saying that he doesn't understand what he's criticizing you about.
Okay.
You are attacking
All right.
his integrity,
All
his
right.
ability to read and appreciate the facts. And I'm saying that is not correct. And he's done that consistently about the NDC. He says we don't read.
I
minority,
think
we don't read. Every
I
time
think he
says
has
we
not
don't read.
attacked. He has not attacked his ability to read.
He says he doesn't understand.
No. He has not attacked his ability. He knows the
Wait.
president. He knows.
No.
He knows.
Sam.
He knows John Mahama. He knows John Mahama.
Sam.
That John
Sam,
Mahama.
when we are debating,
John Mahama has
Sam,
not only,
for instance,
has not only shown
Sam,
that he
Sam,
is a communications expert
Sam,
by training and
Sam,
all of that.
Sam,
He's actually authored a
Sam,
book.
Sam.
If you can't read,
Exactly.
how could
Sam,
you do that?
Yes, Sam.
So he
When
hasn't
we are
said
in
you
court,
can't
when
read.
we are in court and we are debating on a legal matter, and I say that you don't understand what you are saying, I am attacking your ability.
Okay, thank you.
You understand?
Thank you. Now,
see-
Kweku, let me bring Kweku. I bring you in finally.
Finally, thank you.
It's fair that if Bawumia launches this product and touts it as the best that the world ever saw, and that there's none like that, is better than what you have in the UK or wherever. He was wrong about that, and so he attracted the criticism that is now interrogating the quality of this product as compared to what exists elsewhere.
See, that is the best in the world. That has never happened anywhere before. I think that obviously doesn't reflect the true situation. That might have been an exaggeration in the heat of the moment. I'm prepared to concede to that. But did he put out a fraudulent scheme? Was he outdooring a fraudulent scheme? And within the Ghanaian context, what really does that present to us in terms of opportunities of formalizing the economy, of improving on the Ghanaian standard? Have we had it? If you look at the way it's being consolidated and the way they will input it into the economic transformation of this country, is that not a distinctive improvement, development in our context? So yes, and would that perceived, if you like, or what I'm conceding as exaggeration, be the basis for us to say this is 419? I don't know much about these things. Indeed,
I think the 419 reference is about the cost and the fact that it is new, where particularly we have heard a suggestion that it could have been done for the country for free, and the suggestion also that somebody had actually offered to do it for free or cheaper.
Well, evidence. They provided evidence of who wanted to offer it and do it for free.
Yes, they have, except that that entity didn't get to the bidding stage or got disqualified from an early point.
Look, I think Bawumia's reaction was apt. For me, it wasn't excessive. It was good. It was proper. I'm with him. But he's such a fantastic gentleman. How many times have you heard Bawumia abuse or insult anybody? I don't. That's not his character. I would say same for even President Mahama. I don't see him as a guy who goes out insulting people. You may not like the way a manner he will put something, fine, and be critical of him.
Right.
Mercilessly critical of him. You can be without insulting him. Look, I'm inadequate when it comes to this area, science, technology, or ICT. And all those who know me properly know that I'm totally bankrupt there. But I've been listening. And what I'm going to say has nothing to do with what has happened here, please. But I've been listening in the last 2-3 weeks. The critics, particularly those political critics, I've listened to them, but I hear nothing. Those defending the project, and it's only just last night I got all these documents to study. I listened to them, and I think there's light that comes from them. We all must support this project. It's obvious that if it's properly done,
right,
it will lead to a vast improvement in how we do business in this country.
But that's not their criticism.
Oh, but the criticism is so misplaced, so misdirected.
The criticism is that you have been misled into believing that something is new and it's not, or that something...
That thing they are doing, if it's put together the way it's being put together, it's completely new within Ghanaian context.
Okay.
Maybe they are not getting that drift.
All right, thank you. Let's hear Yusuf Seni, and then we'll move on to the questioning of the board.
I've kept very quiet because, you see, John is, Excellency John Dramani Mahama is my boss. He's a brother. It's a model to me. I mean, I like him so much. Bawumia is a brother. If I once upon a time, I stayed in his house.
Oh, I see.
I stayed in his house with him. He knows me very, very well. So I'm heartbroken. So when I heard John, I actually called the former chief of staff to say that he should move away from impleading himself, so that people like Bawumia cannot attack him. I'm speaking for both of them, so that I don't sit here and. But what is it about? It's about rights. It's about the resources of this country. It's about political accountability. What the former president did was within his right to do. What was it about? It was about the use of the resources of this country. What was the intended criticism seeking to achieve? To hold people to whom the people of Ghana have delegated political authority to accountable. That's just all.
The contract price, as found in the contract document, is quoted in 9.9.
Yes, so
9.9 million cedis.
Yes,
the former president, can have access to the document.
What I'm saying is that
easily.
Why? He's the former president. He can have access to the document. The former president is also entitled to mention and believe. I mean, why? All of us.
To put out distorted figures.
No, it's not distorted. And I heard it the first time from Nana Addo Akufo-Addo in Parliament, that we receive information and we are entitled to believe in the information until the contrary is proved. I heard it the first time from the Nana Addo Akufo-Addo.
As a lawyer, you do so.
As a lawyer, we do so in affidavit.
Instruction and say you verily believe same to be true until it is proven.
Yes. So why do you attack him now?
But information that he ought to have access to.
He doesn't have to. He's not in office.
Really?
It's an executive function. What happened? The launch of the GPS system.
So if he gets it wrong and he's told he's gotten it wrong.
Yes, but he must be told in the way that inspires confidence in Ghanaians.
Okay.
That this government is actually politically accountable.
Yes.
That's how it should be done.
Yes. No,
you understand? That's just my problem with Dr.
The reply.
The reply. I sit here, to be honest with you, when I also heard the digital addressing system, I thought something was fundamentally wrong. I have a Fitbit connected to my phone. I exercise daily. Anytime I'm taking off, from my point that I take off, it's recorded on the Fitbit and on the phone. And the GPS tracking system tracks me. Even if I don't know the area, it will track me and I can follow the GPS back to where I started.
That's right.
So that's a variant of an addressing system. Okay? It shows you a point and it can lead you back. Now, what do we seek to achieve by this GPS? I yet do not know.
What it does for you, do you think Ghana Post can use it for the purposes that the GhanaPost GPS, as we have the system now, is being used to do?
No. What is it used to do? What the system that we have now, what is it used to do?
Huh. That's a question you're asking. And then, because you see, if you
don't ask that, what is it used to?
What he asked.
Individual.
No, what is it used to?
Each individual.
Yes. You are told
is going to have your distinctive, as it were, address or code.
What is it? What is
you are not going to have. You are not going to have the Google system you are using. Do that for you.
What is it intended to achieve? You are told that you can be located in the middle of River Oti to achieve what? You are going to River Oti. You need to follow a road to River Oti. Will the Google addressing system locating you in the middle of River Oti show you how to get to River Oti? You will go to Europe.
Are you able? Are you able to give to someone who wants to find you, who wants to locate you, that system that you are referring to? See, this one.
Yes.
No. Let's be clear about that. Let's be clear about that.
I'm coming to that. I thought that what they had launched, actually, me, I have not downloaded it. I don't need it.
Try it.
No, I have not downloaded it.
But you try.
Because
I can help
where I live, I've not downloaded Google. But I know when I go to, I've not downloaded GhanaPost GPS. Yes. But when I go to Google, I get my house. I get a road, high tension road, but there's no non-existent road. They say that my house is abutting the high tension road, but there's no road.
Can I speak?
So I was thinking that, and GPS system is very good. I went to London. They put me in a place I didn't know. They only gave me the address.
Postcode.
Yes.
Yeah. This one has done a unique mapping of the entire country.
Oh, something. Don't be, when they're shaving you, you don't rub your hair. You have to wait, and the barber will say, "I've finished." Then you rub your head and see what they say.
Right.
I'm shaving you, you're rubbing your head.
Okay.
Wait. No, you see, what I thought we'll be doing is getting the fundamentals right. Which road leads you to Kwabenya?
I need to revert this.
How many roads, how many buildings are in Kwabenya? What is the layout of Kwabenya? Such that if I come from Zuarungo and I'm given a unique addressing system, then I give it to a taxi driver and he inputs it into a Google mapping system in his car. It will direct him to Kwabenya, to my house. I don't see the fundamentals.
To your house or preferably to Zuarungo.
To Zuarungo.
To my mom's home.
To Zuarungo. You understand? That is why I don't see.
It is precisely because of these gaps.
Right.
That's why you need a digital property address system, so that you can have a unique code that says for example, 2W3C1. Which now, when you key in, regardless of the fact that there's no road that you are talking about there that can be found there, regardless of the fact that now somebody's coming from Zuarungo or wherever, it would now interfacing with the mapped and then the survey data, it will now provide very clear directions that anybody can use and can come to that particular point of place. And it will not just facilitate Ghana Post, but a lot of electronic businesses and delivery systems.
No, we are looking at movement. You see, you are talking about
just movement.
Don't talk in the be highfalutin. No, we are saying that what is on the ground. You see, you are talking about digital businesses.
So thank you. That was a quick reaction.
We want to get
but
to
obviously,
where we
I
want to
think
go.
I'm sure that the government itself has admitted that it has its own weaknesses and it's not as Bawumia had claimed when it was being launched. We'll take our very final break. When we return, we'll look at the bond issue and the matters that are arising from it. My guest on the Newsfile this morning have been Kweku Bako, Roxanne Dafama, Kojo Oponkroma, and Inusa Fuseni. We'll be right back.